So instead of doing my usual videos today, I decided that I would rather talk about the new hobby that I'm doing, which is choreographing. Now, choreographing is very different from actual combat. Choreographing is mostly used for movies, TV shows, involving either swords, lightsabers, or hand-to-hand combat. Is it realistic? Sometimes it does have some elements of realistic fighting styles. But you shouldn't always trust what you will see in movies, because a lot of movies that are considered historical can sometimes be the biggest offenders in this realistic depictions. Now, I'm going to give you a quick example of what could be choreographing. Probably we see in movies. I'm just going to use this lightsaber here. Now, things like this you would never see on a historical battlefield. These are not realistic fighting moves. These are just cheap tricks for entertainment. And in fact, if anyone were to do what I was just doing on the battlefield, they'll probably be the first ones dead when facing an actual person who actually trained with weapons. Now, I should have mentioned from the start that I am not a professional choreographer, nor am I like a real expert on actual combat, mainly historical or ancient warfare. I know some things, but I am not that knowledgeable. But I just want to share a few things that I kind of want to point out to everyone about misinformation about certain things. Cut that out as well. Now, one of the main things you'll probably see a lot used in choreographed fighting would be like swords. And a lot of times they'll portray the sword as the main weapon on the battlefield, which is another false big no-no. Swords weren't really that common, especially for more common folk. Now, also another thing is, people who did have swords would usually mainly use them as a sidearm. Most times you will see will be more like spears, pole arms will be the more dominant. You got bows, and a few other types of weapons, but the sword, mostly a sidearm. Now, is it wrong with very fictional choreographing and things of that nature? Not really, but just know the difference. And the main thing is you gotta realize it's mainly for entertainment. A lot of actual historical fighting styles were quite simple, and sometimes they're not as flashy, and can get quite dull. But with just the adding of a few simple movements of the wrists, twirling, and stuff like that, it adds something, pleasing to the eye. And that's why you will see a lot of choreographing. It's a fun hobby to get into. It's getting me more physical, but just know the difference. So I hope you learned something new today, and I hope you enjoyed my first video of me actually talking to the camera, and I hope I wasn't too ranty. Can't talk. So, have a good one, and have fun. Is it recording or? No, it is